Good morning, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is your Harvard House Money Morsel, where we use the power of social media and video to keep you up to date with what's moving your money. I'm sitting with portfolio manager Nick Rogers. Nick, we are now 5 weeks into the Russian-Ukrainian war. Everyone knows what's going on there. And the focus has largely been the petrol price as a result of the price of oil. But there's a much greater implication for the global economy into the agricultural sector. You've explored this idea in your Friday, 1st of April Intuition article. Give us some insights as to what's happening in this space.
Thanks very much, Robin. If we go back 5 weeks ago to our last talk, the war had just begun, really, and I think what we're seeing now is it's not going away immediately, and the implications globally, every country is now looking internally at their own economy, and what are the implications from the Ukraine-Russia war. And I think the big issue on the food inflation side is the input costs into fertilizer. So that's come through pretty strongly. Fertilizer prices had risen up to 200%. This is before the war broke out. And now what's happened is natural gas, which was flowing freely through Europe, has suddenly been effectively turned off with Nord Stream 2 project being put offline. Last night, Putin threatened to turn it off again if they didn't pay in rubles. So huge pressure on natural gas, and natural gas is a massive input price in fertilizer. So it produces ammonia and urea, which are hugely used and vastly important for the farmer to get the crop yields up.
So that sort of bringing it back into the South African space, that's obviously had a massive impact, obviously for farmers, but for food prices here. You explore in your article a little bit about the lower LSMs, lifestyle measures, I think is the term, and particularly, we have this idea of the supported consumer, those who are on grants in the country. How are they impacted by this whole process?
Robin, in South Africa, we've got 46% of our country's population living off social grants, a massive informal sector. So it does impact the country a lot greater than the food inflation price, the official one, might reflect. So interestingly, there's a new index called the Pietermaritzburg Justice and Dignity Index. It was launched in 2020, and they take a basket of shopping goods from prices from 40 supermarkets and 30 butcheries across South Africa. Now, these prices are reflected back by the actual ladies in the families who do the shopping. So it's a very, very real number. And what they've found is that food price inflation over the same period is 8.9%. So that's 2.5% higher for the lower LSM, placing huge pressure on that sector of the economy. And Standard Bank Securities also did a survey, I think, in January, and they looked at food price, a similar basket. There were 22 goods for food and 12 core home products. And the other likes of USave, Boxer and Macro came out on top with branded products. If you filled it with branded products, they came out as the cheapest. Interestingly, Pick and Pay, when you picked unbranded products, the cheapest products into a basket, Pick and Pay were way more expensive than ShopRite, Checkers and Woolies,
Sure.
which you wouldn't expect.
No, that's amazing. So bringing it back to our investment portfolios and the investment theme of the supported consumer, you kind of look at how the Checkers strategy is well positioned to benefit in this space. And obviously ShopRite have done very good results just recently. So talk how sort of management can prepare and how their strategies, in spite of events that are completely outside of their control, sort of play through for the benefit of the investor.
Sure. I mean, ShopRite is a great example. It's a share that we really we love holding it in portfolios because it just sits there and does its thing. It does what it's supposed to do. Thanks to management's execution over the last 6 years, they had a plan, a 9-point plan, which they have executed to the point. And remember, YT Basson, who founded ShopRite back in the day, he's moved on. So this is new management. and they've gained market share for an incredible 34 months in a row, which that speaks volumes for what they've achieved. How do they do this? Well, I think price superiority is probably the biggest. So they invest in price, and it's really due to economies of scale. So the larger the quantity that you can order, the lower the price you can get from the suppliers, and then pass that saving on to the consumer. So that's number one, and that's why the lower LSM are huge beneficiaries of this. Usave and ShopRite deal with that sort of sector of the market. They've also then looked at Woolies and gone, we can have a bit of that pie, and they're now starting to eat Woolies lunch. So they're aiming at upper consumer, not just the lower. So that's a change in strategy, which is great. And then looking to the future as well, they've invested in e-commerce. And the 60/60 app, which was launched in 2019, that has been 42%, I think, of the contribution to the market share gains.
Wow.
So e-commerce has come through very strongly. So not just looking at the past, but looking at the future. And they've also looked at what markets can they gain further share in, and baby, pet, pharmaceuticals, schoolwear. So those all add up to 75 billion rands worth of potential target market. And they've entered those markets recently. So just further widening the defensive moat that they've created.
That's amazing. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, click the bell so that you're notified when we release a new video. Thank you for tuning in. Nick, thank you for giving us some of your time. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.